they need to be so big that by themselves they will capture the attention of people and break things out of the normal routine of society, whether we've got 1,000 people carrying it or 10 people carrying it. These posters powerfully represent the hundreds of people the police kill every year. When we take them into the streets, we are carrying the justification for what we're doing, the thing that indicates that we're right to do it. We're putting the horror of police murder out there for everybody to see. And we can't back down when we do this. If the authorities come to us and say, oh, well, you have to get onto the sidewalk, we have to say, no, this needs to be out in the streets. This needs to be where everybody can see it. Okay, and then leading up to April 14th and this next week, these posters have got to be everywhere. You know, they should be big. They don't need to be as big as the 30-foot one that I'm talking about, but they should be big enough to attract attention. When you do that, because I just came back from LA, we were at UCLA, we were at UC Riverside on Stolen Lives Days, riveted people's attention. People wanted copies of the poster. They wanted to take pictures of themselves in front of it and to tweet it and put it on social media. We need to be doing this for this next week, and we need to be recruiting the people whose attention is riveted by this poster to act with us on April 14th to stop these horrors. People need to go to the website of the network, the Stop Mass Incarceration Network that Cornell and I co-founded. That's stopmassincarceration.net. And we need to be working to drive people to that website. And we also should be working to drive people to the website of the Revolutionary Communist Party, revcom.us. Everybody needs to be going to these sites, finding out what's going on, getting a fuller perspective of what's behind what's happening, and getting organized and organizing others. People need to send in photos, reports, stories and vines to these sites, and we'll post them up so that people can get a sense of a growing nationwide movement of resistance. In this way, we'll be making a huge move against police getting away with murder and against mass incarceration, and also a move towards the transformation of all of society. We can do this, sisters and brothers. A whole lot of people want to see something done to stop the way the system gives a green light to killer cops. It's right beneath the surface, and then sometimes it bubbles over, comes out in the open for people to see. You saw it in Madison, Wisconsin. I actually saw it personally, but you could see it in the videos up on the Stop Mass Incarceration Network site, when hundreds of high school students took to the streets last month after police in Madison, Wisconsin killed a young black man named Tony Robinson. You can see, you saw it on April 1st when people in the San Francisco area took over an immigration office. You saw it when people in Philadelphia turned out a town hall meeting where the police chief was trying to convince them that they should not look at his cops like they were an occupying army. And you see it in the response of students at college campuses like Duke and Oklahoma, where racist outrages have gone down. Now look, I want us to say something serious to everybody here tonight and everybody who's watching on the live stream. It's good that you're doing that. You're showing something. You're showing a certain understanding of things. But I have to tell you, it's not enough to feel like something should be done about it, but not to act to do it. It's not good enough to hope that someone else will do it. You've got enough awareness of what needs to be done, or you wouldn't be here if you weren't aware of the problems. History is calling on us to act. This poster, the faces on this poster, are calling on you to act. Don't let this keep going on. Don't let there be new faces to add to this poster. We have to end the situation where teenagers come up to Noche and talk about how they figure they'll be on this poster sometime soon. We have to stop this. We have to act, and you have to be a part of it. When we act on April the 14th, we will be acting for and speaking to the people who want to see this horror stopped. And leading up to April 14th, we can tap into the people who have that sentiment and enlist them to join us in the streets on the 14th. Because look, sisters and brothers, it is illegitimate and unacceptable for this system to give a green light to its brutal murdering police. It's got to stop. And all these other horrors that this system visits on millions of people around the planet also have to stop. The wars for empire, the drone missile strikes, the horrible oppression that comes down on the sisters in this country. Also, what's done to lesbian, gay, and transgender people. And also what they do to the immigrants and what they are doing to the environment and the whole planet. All of this can be stopped. We do not have to live like this. And when we stand up, it lets us begin to see the truth of that. And it builds up our strength and our organization and understanding. And it gets us ready for the day when we could end all of this stuff, for real and for good. All these horrors can be stopped, and it will take a revolution to do it. I just want to talk about one example of what we could do through revolution. Bob Avakian, the leader of the Revolutionary Communist Party, who I told you about a little bit earlier, spoke to this in basics, commenting on the 1998 police killing of Taisha Miller, a 19-year-old black woman in Riverside, California, who was like unconscious in a car. Her family called the police. She had had a seizure. The cops came and they fired 23 shots into the car, hitting Taisha 12 times and killing her. This is what Bob Avakian had to say about this. If you can't handle this situation differently than this, then get the F out of the way. Not only out of the way of this situation, but get off the earth. Get out of the way of the masses of people. Because you know we could have handled this situation any number of ways that would have resulted in a much better outcome. And frankly, if we had state power and we were faced with a similar situation, we would sooner have one of our own people's police killed than wantonly murder one of the masses. That's what you're supposed to do if you're actually trying to be a servant of the people. You go there and you put your own life on the line rather than just wantonly murder one of the people. F all this serve and protect BS. If they were there to serve and protect, they would have found any way but the way they did it to handle this scene. They could have and would have found a solution that was much better than that. This is the way the proletariat, when it's been in power, has handled and would again handle this kind of thing, valuing the lives of the masses of people, as opposed to the bourgeoisie in power, where the role of their police is to terrorize the masses, including wantonly murdering them without provocation, without necessity. Because exactly the more arbitrary the terror is, the more broadly it affects the masses. And that's one of the reasons why they like to engage in it, and have as one of their main functions to engage in wanton and arbitrary terror against the masses of people. This is why we say we could do better. And this is why we say that people need to check out this leader, Bob Avakian, and check out and get with this revolution. And everybody needs to be in the streets on April 14th, saying no more to police killing people again and again and getting away with it. And look, do not tell me if you're white that this isn't your problem, and you don't have to act around it. Because what I'll tell you is that we need a lot more white people like Cindy Sheehan doing what she did. Adding her voice to the cry that this horror's got to stop. You can't turn away from these horrors. You can't say it's not my problem. It is your problem. These are our youth. These are our youth being beaten down in the streets, warehoused in prison, and shot down in the streets. I don't care if you're black, Latino, Asian, white, whatever. These are our youth, and we have to stop what's being done to them. Everybody needs to join the outpourings into the street on April 14th. To say that police getting away with murder must stop. If you refuse to act to stop this, you're saying it's okay. And I ask you, is it okay for the police to gun down or choke people to death? No. Is it okay for politicians to excuse and justify these killings by talking about cops being heroes who have a tough job? No. Is it okay for the system's media to swallow and then spit out the lies that police cook up to try to cover their murderous deeds? No. Okay, if you mean that, then you got to put yourselves on the line on April 14th. And you have to go all out between now and April 14th to make it as powerful as possible. April 14th. No work, no school, shut down business as usual. Stop police getting away with murder. Thank you, sisters and brothers. I'm going to call up for now.